treat it is to introduce to you a young lady who just has graduated from Texas Tech and 4 years ago graduated valedictorian of Lakeview High School, a member of the band, and a member of Texas Tech band. I got to see you march at a game last year. And what we want to showcase about what you have accomplished, Joanna, is you achieved the highest ranking graduate for the College of Engineering for 2014, presented by Texas Tech Alumni Association. Wow, that is an amazing accomplishment. And there's many pieces of that to be proud of. First off, we want so much across our nation to have more young ladies go into science, the STEM fields, and engineering. And you not only went into that, but you were the highest ranking graduate. And engineering at any university is one of the hardest majors. Yeah. And so to even graduate successfully in engineering is an accomplishment, but to be at the top of the pile, you've made us proud for many years, Joanna. Your shirt says it. Yeah. You're a proud Texas Tech grad and a proud Lakeview grad, and have several generations of your family in this city that are so proud, but your expanded family of friends are extremely proud of you. And I asked, are you fixing to start a job? But you have decided to.
So I found out about end of last summer that I was offered an undergraduate scholarship that would cover the rest of my tuition and then give me a little bit extra for living expenses. And when I was kind of making the decision I did have a job offer at the end of last summer after I interned. And when I went back to school, found out that this scholarship that I was given doubled upon receiving an undergrad and going on to my master's program. And Texas Tech has a 150-hour master's that I could have done in conjunction with my undergrad. So I started taking graduate classes last fall.
And you will, instead of going right into the workforce, which would have been tempting,
it was.
You are going to go ahead and get your master's in science.
It's a master's of science in electrical engineering.
My goodness. I am so appreciative of your maturity, and I know that your teachers at Lakeview could not possibly be prouder. And you were a very good student obviously, to graduate as valedictorian. You were very involved. You weren't just a bookworm, and have also been involved at Texas Tech. And have a great younger brother who's also in the band and at Texas Tech.
Yeah, he just started, on Saturday, he started band.
Well, I'll look forward to when I go to the Longhorn Texas Tech football game.
You look for him.
I will definitely. He will be loud and proud as we want him to be. Tell us about your experience at Lakeview taking some college courses. You told me you finished high school with at least 24 college hours. Talk about that just a little bit, and what difference did that make?
So it was really, really nice coming out with that many hours. I did have some friends in the Metroplex that had schools that went to large high schools that offered tons and tons of math and tons of science. But what was really nice was that I was able to get my English and my history classes covered here in San Angelo through Howard, and I got 24 hours between just history and English, and that actually allowed me to pursue an English minor because that was something that I enjoyed. It just wasn't something that I felt that I was passionate enough to get my major in. So, I also had a lot of friends that didn't take any, English and history, and they're in their, last semesters taking freshman level history, going, oh, well, I don't want to trudge through this. But taking it in high school was pretty nice, and having that with teachers that were also in my high school.
Nice.
So I kind of, you're able to form that relationship that you have between, high school teachers and their students, but also kind of get you into that college mindset of, writing papers and doing that level of work.
How did you decide to major in engineering? Did you know before you went to Texas Tech that would be your major?
I knew I was going to try something math, science, engineering related, and growing up I always was like, oh, I'm going to be a veterinarian, or oh, I'm going to be some kind of, not really medical field, but I really wanted to kind of stray that way, because I guess that's how kids think. And but all my math teachers, they'd come up to me and they'd be like, you think like an engineer, my dad told me one day, he was like, are you really sure you want to do this? And the more I thought about it, the more I really enjoyed the idea of kind of being able to do math just for my job.
So I have learned, my father was an engineer. I didn't realize there were so many different types of engineering. Mm-hmm. How did you lock in on which one you wanted to pursue?
I kind of ended up, I started out computer engineering, which is at Texas Tech. It's different kind of everywhere you go. Some programs have their own specific computer engineering program, but at Texas Tech, the way they do it is it's an electrical engineering based degree, and then you have some computer science classes built in. But the more computer science classes I took, the more I kind of felt that wasn't really what I was passionate about. And so I went ahead and switched over just to electrical engineering. So I had a little bit more freedom with my electives. But starting out that way kind of gave me a nice background, because I had the computer science classes to fall back on and have a kind of greater understanding of the general engineering principles, I guess.
Will your master's degree just broaden your understanding and knowledge base, or could it open doors for you that you wouldn't have had opened if you hadn't gotten the master's?
It'll open a lot of doors for me. There's a lot of research positions that I can get at companies that are, master's required. I'm doing it because it's paid for, and because I felt that it was, it's an extra year. The way the 150-hour program worked, I'm only going to be going till next May. So if I can stick out another year in school just to have that qualification, there are some jobs that I'm still looking at that don't necessarily require a master's, but later on I felt that it'd probably be in my best interest to have one. So.
Do you envision a year from now, when you will have finished the master's, a part of the country where is pulling you to maybe start your professional career?
Oh, definitely. I want to get started in the industry right after I get my master's.
And where in the nation is of interest to you?
Probably stay in Texas. There's a lot of stuff happening in Texas. Most of the companies that visit our job fair have some kind of, pull towards the Metroplex area, Austin, San Antonio. The oil field in Houston, that's a little out of my interest, but there's a lot of companies that are really looking at this area, saying that there's a lot of potential.
Okay, so. Joanna, you are very smart, and some very smart young people decide when they go to college that they don't have time to be in something that takes as much time as the Texas Tech band. I know you've really enjoyed it. Why are you glad that you did that?
You meet some of your best friends that way. In high school, most of my best friends I met through music, and granted, not all of them. It's nice to have that diversity. And in fact, I met my roommate in college, the girl, in fact, that she's going to get her master's as well through band, and she's a music education major. She's not engineering, and it's really nice because you're able to have that diversity in your friend group, so you're not just constantly being with people that are in your classes and you get tired of seeing every day. So it's nice to have that little break. And even, with a degree in engineering, it's nice to have that change in mindset in the middle of the day that kind of makes you be up at campus even if you don't have class till that afternoon. It holds you accountable to being there. So
it was positive, wasn't it, for you being in that
definitely.
great band?
Definitely.
I'm so glad. I want young people, when they go to college, even if they're having to work and study hard, to be in something that will enrich their college years.
I worked on one fall, I think it was last fall, I worked through the fall semester.
Good.
During band.
Wow.
So.
And still have the highest ranking GPA of the College of Engineering of Texas Tech for this last year. Joanna, I can't tell you how proud we are. It is an understatement. And it wasn't just your success. There were people behind you who invested in your life. And what makes you so special is that you realize that you have people who care deeply, not just your great family and your great parents, but a whole community who are so proud of you. Now, keep doing great things.
I'll try.
I believe you will. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you guys.